Part 3. My religious husband demanded I give our newborn son to his infertile sister because God wanted her to have him, and his entire family tried to force me. I discovered the truth and destroyed their holy family at Sunday service. The judge granted me full legal and physical custody of Alexander. Nathan was given supervised visitation only 2 hours per week at a court-approved facility, with a requirement that none of his family members be present during visits. The judge also issued a restraining order preventing Ruth, Michael, Grace, and Stephen from coming within 500 feet of me or Alexander. Nathan was furious with the ruling. He shouted in the courtroom that the judge was biased and this was unfair. His lawyer had to physically restrain him from approaching the bench. The judge warned him that any further outbursts would result in contempt charges. Outside the courthouse, Nathan's lawyer tried to negotiate with my lawyer. They offered to drop the custody fight entirely if I would agree not to pursue child support. My lawyer laughed in their face. We countered with a demand for Nathan to pay his full legal obligation for child support plus half of all daycare and medical expenses, or we would go back to court and present additional evidence of his unfit parenting. They agreed to our terms. Nathan was ordered to pay substantial monthly child support and contribute to all of Alexander's expenses. My lawyer made sure the agreement specified that payments must continue regardless of any future custody arrangement changes, and that failure to pay would result in immediate wage garnishment. Update 3. It has been 4 months since the church service exposure and the custody hearing, and the fallout has been even more devastating for Nathan's family than I could have imagined. Meanwhile, my life has improved dramatically and I'm finally at peace. Let me start with what happened to everyone who tried to take my baby. Nathan's life completely fell apart. The affair with Bethany ended spectacularly when she found out about everything that happened at church. Apparently, Nathan had told Bethany that he was separated from a crazy wife who abandoned him, not that he was married to a woman who had just given birth to his son. When Bethany learned the truth, she was horrified and broke up with him immediately. Bethany actually reached out to me through social media to apologize. She said Nathan had lied to her from the beginning, telling her we were already divorced and that I had refused to let him see his child. She had no idea about the scheme to give Alexander to Grace or any of the religious manipulation. She felt used and disgusted. I appreciated her apology, though I didn't pursue a friendship. Nathan also lost his job. His accounting firm has a morality clause in their employment contracts, and when word spread about the church scandal, several clients complained. The firm investigated and found that Nathan had been doing personal work on company time, specifically helping Grace and Stephen prepare fraudulent documents to submit to adoption agencies. He was fired for ethics violations and misuse of company resources. Without his job, Nathan couldn't afford his apartment. He moved back in with Ruth and Michael, which created its own problems because their house became a toxic environment. The three of them blamed each other for how everything went wrong. Nathan blamed his parents for pushing the baby scheme so hard, Ruth blamed Nathan for having the affair and getting caught, Michael blamed Grace for having a husband with a criminal record that caused all this scrutiny. Grace and Stephen's marriage didn't survive the exposure. Stephen was furious that Grace had pushed so hard for my baby and brought all this attention to his criminal past. He told her that her obsession with having a child had ruined both their lives. They separated 2 months ago, and Grace filed for divorce last month. The church community completely turned on Nathan's family. After the emergency leadership meeting, Pastor James announced that the family had deceived the church leadership